Pew, 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 pew.
Here we go. Welcome, everybody, to our podcast. There was no goal, no plan, nothing. Jake and Brad, here we are, live. Brad, what's it called?
We are calling this the Ghostrunners Podcast. We had like these adjustable bookshelves that didn't have anything on them, so we used those to like stabilize the microphones on our laps. And yeah, we just kind of went for it.
Wow. Yeah, good times.
Well,
I think that's it. That's good. We're
included
close to an hour, which is crazy. It's so easy to do this.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we do every week anyway. We're just putting microphones in front of our faces.
Okay.
We'll see you on the flip-flops.
We'll see you on the flippity-flop.
This has been Ghostrunners. The positive reactions that we got from people were like, okay, maybe people are going to enjoy this a little bit.
Maybe we have something here.
Yeah, maybe people have really low standards.
Podcast that is about everyday life, two really genuine, down-to-earth guys, as well as building a really genuine community.
And if you just need something uplifting in your life and funny, they're the ones that will consistently put a smile on your face.
It really is so wild because the community has grown a ton.
That's been a big blessing in my life.
Podcasting, baby. We don't know what we're doing. We've never done this before, but it's going to be fun. My name is Jake Triplett. I grew up on a cattle farm in Southwest Missouri, and for the last several years, I've been like a full-time content creator. It started in sports and then went to comedy, and now it's a little comedy and sports. Father of 0, husband of 1.
My name is Brad Ellis. I am from Kansas City originally. I am 2/3 of the Ghostrunners podcast in size, probably.
The Ghostrunners Podcast, it's a lighthearted comedy podcast.
Some of the words we use, comedy, lighthearted, positive, relatable, and somebody has described it as like Seinfeld, but less Jewish. So we try to call it America's best clean comedy podcast.
Striving to be, yeah. The podcast was inspired by me listening to a lot of comedy podcasts way back in the day and thinking, this is fun, this doesn't seem that hard, and I'd like to wet my beak on that action.
Yes.
I don't know, but
you
I really
said those exact words. You're like, hey, you like out of nowhere, out of context. He just came to my house one time and was like, hey, let's wet our beak on this action. I'm like, totally.
Like, yeah, I got 2 microphones. He knew exactly what I was talking about.
Exactly. I remember Jake was living in Dallas, and he would visit Kansas City every once in a while, and I would drive him to the airport. And I feel like our conversations then were like, I was like, this is kind of like comedians in cars getting coffee, And I think you were like, we should record some of these conversations.
And let's just see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then first episode, I think we had 440 people listen to it. It's kind of wild.
And I don't remember us strategizing one bit about that. I don't remember you being like, come with this, or talk about this, or let's talk about these kind of things. I don't think we had any conversations about those things, as far as I can remember.
I don't remember how 440 people even found it.
Very impromptu, very like, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
And somebody said they laughed. I remember somebody reposting your story actually and being like, I'm crying laughing 2 minutes into this, and thinking, really? Like, I mean, I think we're fun. We're funny guys, I guess, but I'm like, I don't think this is that good. Why are people enjoying it so much?
Comedy is just such a wide spectrum, and it's also subjective that, you find the right people who think we are the funniest people alive.
It is such a compliment to me when people are like, I laughed out loud at that part. Because I'm like, I don't laugh out loud that much.
That's hard to do.
And if you're laughing out loud ever at this podcast, that's a huge compliment to me.
It's just so funny. Like, I'm laughing out loud a lot. There is no format. You turn on any episode and you don't know what's going to happen. And I think that's one reason it's appealing, because like you don't know what to expect, and that can be really fun because it's like, ooh, what are we in for today?
It's just two genuine guys talking about life and being funny while at it. They are hilarious.
I like the banter. I like how witty it is. It's the same kind of humor that I carry out.
I actually do look forward to Mondays now, which is unusual. I found the podcast through my cousin Lindsay, who has been listening since pretty much the very beginning. Pretty much every Monday and Wednesday, me and Lindsay have a constant text thread going on, debriefing the podcast, talking about our favorite jokes, and now I'm just chatting with all the ghosties about the podcast like every Monday and Wednesday, and it's so fun.
You just get so wrapped up in their lives and their inside jokes, and it's just such a comfort podcast, so you kind of feel like you know them, so you want to have updates on their lives and be in on the jokes, really.
They just have that really good dynamic. Like, you can tell they're really close friends. They do life together, and that genuine relationship you see there just makes it more enjoyable, more relatable, something that you also want a part of your life. And I think that's why so many people are drawn to it and keep coming back.
The way they effortlessly include their friends in the conversation, their family members, their neighbors, and you get to know them. And then when they introduced voice memos, when other listeners started to call in.
Should we get to the voice memos?
Oh, yeah.
We got to learn other people's names and their stories, and they almost became characters themselves within the podcast.
Whoa.
Yo, Clint Walker here.
Go back.
Yo, Clint Walker here. Here with some friends. We got a good group. We got a group chat called the I'm Down Boys. And we do a lot of stuff with a Z.
And then I run into a huge ghosty, Izzy.
Yes, dude.
Once we started talking, I was like, you're the Izzy who's left like 3 voice memos.
Like, you're the Izzy. Like,
yeah, I know your brother, and
Right.
he's the one who did this.
Right.
So I never really connected with the Ghostrunners fan like that before, where it's like, I know your name because of like how involved you've been.
Right.
So toilet paper's gonna just melt. It's not gonna do anything.
Still!
No paper towels, nothing.
Oh my!
And I'm thinking to myself, at this time, Burger King has this like Whopper advertisement where they're like, you have to hold it with 2 hands.
So the community kind of grew with the voice memos, and we kind of started seeing this to the point where it was like, I think we could have some people come to our basketball game. We were playing in this basketball league together. We played at this old arena in Kansas City that used to be like a huge like event space, and so they have all these bleachers, and so we're like, we could just invite anybody that wants to come to our championship basketball game. And so
it was a great idea. Actually, let's just make sure we mention, guys, come to our basketball game. We've been hyping it up for a few weeks now. Brad, tell them some of the states that people are coming from.
We got Oregon.
Driving from Oregon.
Virginia. We got Wisconsin. We got Ohio.
It's going to be, I think, a truly like amazing experience. I think it's just going to be a cool moment. Like, we've all kind of been holed up for a year now. It's just fun to have something to celebrate.
We did it.
It's happening.
It's really crazy that people are actually here. People are like walking in our t-shirts and stuff, and it's just wild.
And then we lost.
And then they beat us. I think subconsciously we're like, we got to give them a few points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, let's make it close.
Yeah.
We made it a little too close.
Technically speaking, I did not actually make it to the basketball game itself, and so I actually came up for the live Ghostrunners podcast for the first time, in front of other people.
We got a live studio audience, baby. The main thing that I took from it was people are willing to do some pretty crazy stuff to come hang out and see us and join this community together. I think it was it was the first thing that kind of proved that we had some deep fans.
I talk about this with people who want social media advice, and not all followers are the same at all. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio. Someone who decides to follow you on TikTok because you've made them laugh a couple times is very insignificant in comparison to someone who follows your podcast and is willing to fly across the country to watch you play an intermediate rec basketball game. These people are spending hours with us every week, and so it's what we may lack in quantity, we have so much in quality and in a depth of a relationship with our audience.
We have, had so many different crocheted things. It's amazing how many people have made ghosts or something similar to that for us. I mean, this is a super sweet note with us, our old logo in there. And we've had so many different things like this, just personalized things.
Sentimental goodies.
I
don't remember who gave us this or even the reason behind it, but it says sexiest podcast in Kansas.
Yeah.
Cool, we won that.
Look at that.
An artifact.
Yeah.
First 51 episodes were recorded on this bad boy.
These are just different coasters with things from our Instagram captions back in the day.
This is funny. This still to this day, just last episode, you said, am I having deja vu? Brad doesn't know what deja vu is. I've never met anyone else in life who doesn't know it.
I kind of get it, but not exactly.
And we had a whole episode, we spent 30 minutes where we didn't have a producer. I didn't have anyone else helping me out. I'm trying to figure out how to explain deja vu to someone who doesn't know what it is. Harder than you think. But Brad was going off, said, here I am shopping at the store. Look, deja vu is on sale. I don't buy it. He thinks it's made up.
Yeah, I don't buy it. It is made up. Anybody who says they have it is just in a conspiracy against me.
Last episode he said, I think I'm having deja vu, and then he just told us something he remembered. So.
Is that not what deja vu is? You can see, once again, beautiful crochet things. And then they also sent us these things that are personalized, action figure kind of things for us. So this one's me and this one's Jake.
Oh, I got a mustache.
Yeah, you
and a pickleball paddle.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a guitar.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That is
We have Chiefs shirts on.
This is great.
Isn't that amazing? So here we are.
Identical.
I think the big thing is that it makes people feel like they're with their friends. They've let people into their lives, both with their families as well as their immediate friends there in Kansas City. And so I think it allows us as listeners, viewers, to feel like one of those friends. And I think in a society where we are so frequently alone, you work from home, you can order your groceries to your house, you're not interacting with people. People are craving that sense of community.
I think that just goes to show that they are very down to earth. They're very genuine. It makes you feel a little bit more involved. They'll mention a story or something that's going on in their life, and the next week you'd be catching up with friends. You just want to be like, what happened with that?
I think people enjoy when things aren't fake or overproduced, and Jake and Brad have always been nothing but just their real selves, on and off camera. I can attest they're the same, and I think people like that a lot. I'm Timon Emsch. I was born and raised here in Kansas City, and I just run all the audio and video stuff for the podcast. When I first reached out to Jake about helping with some content, I had only seen Gene Shorts, so I was thinking I could film some comedy skits. And then I met with Jake, and he brought up this podcast that I didn't know about. And I was like, well, that doesn't sound that fun. In my head, I didn't say that, but I was like, I'll give it a shot. So I went home, listened to a couple episodes, and I was like, this actually might not be too bad. I really enjoyed it. I think even if I hadn't started to film for them, I would have become a fan and listened. But after recording just a couple episodes, I was like, I think I fit in here. I really enjoyed it, and I have ever since.
What a blessing Timon is.
I mean, he's a third co-host at this point.
And just what's it called when you're well-rounded?
Fat.
What a fat guy.
What a fat kid. He is. He's a jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. That's what I was looking for. It's pretty nice for me. I don't have to worry about cameras anymore or audio, and he can handle the technical side while also carrying his weight when it comes to actually speaking and appearing on the podcast. He's so great.
I love what Timon brings to the podcast, just seeing how he brings an even more innocent humor to it and how they all play off of that.
He brings also that true homeschool vibe, and also that kid can sing. When he harmonizes with Brad too, it's just gold. You love to hear it.
He's got incredible musical abilities, which is really fun.
That was an added bonus.
Just being able to riff with Timon a little bit more on the music side of things has been fun. And he can just blow me out of the water as far as singing goes.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I thought this would be fun. Just a little something to happen this week. I didn't cause a scene cause Ratatouille's in the kitchen looking right at me.
There's a mouse in the house and he's staying the night. There's a mouse in the house, so this ain't right. Moving up, moving down, gotta go on toes. I'm scared to death, and I think he knows.
When I started the podcast, I had no idea how much I'd be singing on it.
Everyone out there, we got one more song before we head out. Thanks again for coming out.
Jingles to end the Monday episodes have been great. I don't think I would be singing just as often in general if I hadn't have joined the podcast.
It's been so fun to have him and Brad do the jingles together.
Super talented musically. That has maybe been one of the biggest impacts that he's had to the podcast.
I'm also a major music guy. I like how that is involved with the podcast.
Timon, he's top notch. He's great.
Give it up for Brad and Timon.
Really fun addition there. New dimension, essentially. Like it feels like we went from 4D to 5D with Timon.
So glad I saw that DM. So glad he shot a shot. It's been so cool.
I really appreciate his homeschool perspective because I was a homeschooler and I think there was a lot of homeschoolers in the Ghosty community. I think he brings a good energy to the podcast for sure. I think Jake and Brad had a lot of energy before, but it just is kind of a younger energy that is fun.
As I think most people have seen, he has added just tons of humor and like another perspective to the pod. So I think Timon's addition has really helped them as a whole, not only like in content, but also whenever I do watch the videos, it's definitely a cleaner overall look. It flows very well and it's just, it's a little more enjoyable.
Let us show you what we can do. Oh, you like seeing Brad and I both at the same time? What about just me? Oh,
and how about just me?
Timon might have some surprises, you know.
We're gonna use and abuse Timon. The guy's got a voice, all right?
Timon just brings, I guess, that innocence, but also a lot of new perspectives with the homeschooling and the creative arts sort of aspect that he does, which is always, it's quite sweet.
Just a couple months in, after me starting recording the podcast, we were doing the Mount Rushmore of smells, our top 4 smells, and I led with horses. I am gonna go with horses.
Whoa!
I don't know.
The horse?
Didn't see that one coming.
No. It's. I feel like okay.
First pick, manure.
Say that was literally the first one I thought of.
I think it's great. Yeah, and that just follow your heart, right?
Didn't really think it through, and I got humiliated on the podcast. It was awesome. It was like Jake, Brad, and I think Rachel was there too. And just the shock on their faces when I came out of the gate with that as my first pick was kind of iconic. And it's been like, the joke has gone for so long. Like, people still bring up the horses thing. So yeah, that's been a great inside joke.
When Timon started coming in, those are some of my favorite, newer moments, I would say, like the horses one. Still just, I die laughing.
And I just think it shows the guys' personalities, and that's where some of the creativity comes out. And I think it became popular with Timon when he said that one of his favorite things was to smell horses, and I think that's kind of been a joke amongst the ghosties.
Brad, Jake, and Timon all have like a quality about them to make it really relatable and humorous at the fun time. They can pick those things out of their day that were just like unusual and be able to recount them in a really humorous way.
I think it's such a subtle little thing, but something that comes naturally to Brad and I is not just, when we're telling a story, it's not just like, I had a friend the other day who did this. It's like, let's call our friends by their first and last name. And let's give a little insight to them.
My sister, gonna put her on blast. When she was real little, I think she didn't have something quite right in the head. And she would make my dad, when we'd go through McDonald's drive-thru as a family, and like, Caitlin, what do you want? Yeah, can I get a bacon cheeseburger? No bacon. My dad's like, that's just a cheeseburger, Caitlin. And she's like, no, I want a bacon cheeseburger with no bacon.
I had a lot of my age friends, our friends Gunnar and Peter and their wives were all there, and along with Matt Ford. Matt Ford's black, and so that helped because Trinidadians are often black.
Hold up, truck name, Matt Ford Black.
Matt Black. Oh, that's funny. Isaac, our friend
Isaac.
Yeah, he told me that you had lots of stories.
Katrin Hansen Ellis, thank you for joining us today on the podcast.
Absolutely happy to be here. See ya.
This is Steve Triplett country. This is the Triplett land that Triplett's built.
Does it matter?
Yeah. The microphone's right there, so pull it down. You see that microphone? There you go.
There you go. All right, get in there.
Okay,
our good friend Scott and his wife Sam were telling me a story the other day, and they're like, we've been listening to the podcast a while, but Palmer is starting to become their daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Started to become a little bit of a fan.
It's amazing the connections we've made with different people because of Ghostrunners.
Yeah, I wouldn't be married.
Yeah.
That's something.
Talk about that.
My baby of the week is going to be someone who actually met in real life, someone from the podcast, actually.
Yeah.
And my baby of the week is Topgolf Rachel. She is my babe of the week and has been my babe of the last 4 months.
Oh!
Because we... From what Rachel remembers, she was like training or running a half marathon, ran out of things to listen to. She clicked on Ghostrunners for whatever reason. And then as she's scrolling through, she sees that we did an Office episode. It's like, oh, I like The Office. Listens to that one. And I think it's kind of like, oh, those guys were fun. Great, whatever. Skip ahead a year, 2 years maybe. I don't remember. But she moves to Kansas City. She's at Topgolf one night. She sees Brad sitting on a couch and says, hey, Brad Ellis. Ellis Custom Creations. At the time, Brad and I were not getting recognized that much at all. Especially not Brad. And if you're gonna know,
just 1 in 100.
But I mean, it was rare for, like, it didn't really make any sense for someone to like say hello to Brad and not me. And so we were so like curious about this. I was hitting the golf ball. So I didn't even see this. I didn't know it was even like a young woman.
And she didn't even stop stride. She was just like, hey, bro, this is Ellis Custom Creations. I was like, Jake's there. You want to talk to him too?
And so this is enough of an event in our lives at this point that Brad and I like talk about it on the podcast. We're like, you guys are never going to believe this. Someone knew Brad and not me. It's so funny, whatever. Well, exactly a week later, the next Tuesday, we're playing pickleball at Meadowbrook Park. And what do you know? Topgolf Rachel is there. Her ball wanders over to the fence where Brad is. And she hits him with the same line again, I think, like, yeah. Brad Ellis, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Ellis Custom Creations. And then you're like, dude, you're the girl. It's pretty fun. We had a Patreon at the time. And so I think that was like in my head of like, oh, this would be fun to show the patrons. Like we found her. And so it's kind of cool. There was video footage of me like meeting Rachel for the first time. I went back home and told my roommate Isaac, I said, Isaac, I found a girlfriend for one of us. And he didn't move fast enough, so Isaac's still single. You read the title correctly. I am engaged to be wed.
Yeah!
And the Coop family is here.
Yeah, they are.
That's right. I am married, and so is Brad. It was a perfect weekend. This whole episode, we're going to tell you all about it.
We got to kind of be on the journey with Jake meeting Rachel and then being engaged to Rachel, married to Rachel. That's been such a fun journey to follow along.
I just really like how they've slowly introduced all these different people into the podcast. Like you start to slowly get to know like Scott and Rachel and Catherine, and it just feels like you're almost part of their community as well somehow.
For a lot of people, it probably doesn't mean anything, but I think there is a little magic to it of like, I feel like I really know these guys because it doesn't feel like they're withholding anything from me. They're not saying I went to the local coffee shop. They're like, I know the names of their neighborhood. I know what's around them. I know almost everything about them.
It just opens up the opportunity for community because it feels like they actually want to talk to us. They actually want to be our friends, and just makes it so fun to listen to. And I have joked that I feel like I know more about Jake and Brad because even my closest friends I'm not listening to for 3 hours a week talk about their lives. And so it just feels like you're sitting down talking to your friends.
And now it's like, yeah, it's somewhat casual or just like easy to talk to Jake and Brad now, and it's just like really cool. That's why I feel like I can call them my friends.
I feel like I've had so many people that I would consider initially be fans that are now truly friends of mine. Like lifelong friends, where it's like, I wouldn't have known you if it weren't for the Ghostrunners, and now I think, we are like truly affecting each other on deeper levels. I can think of multiple trips that I've gone on to see these fans, these friends, and just the effect that has on somebody. Obviously, they've not only encouraged me in my marriage, but in my fatherhood journey and beyond. So truly, like a deeper effect has happened from the podcast, and we have absorbed almost as much as we've given out, I think.
We're the ones who bought microphones. That's the only thing that differentiates us. We're not above them. We don't have different things we like to do. It's like, we're the same people. Like, let's like cherish this kind of friendship we have.
They're just normal guys, even though to us listening to the podcast, they're like celebrities to us. Or, like people we can look up to. It's just normal guys you can relate to and that genuinely care about those that are in their community.
And we realized like, okay, yes, this is a positive, funny podcast, but it seems like it's got some deeper meaning behind it than just us, making jokes for an hour every week.
I love hearing Brad and Jake talk about their families, especially hearing them uplift their wives I hear a lot of arguing in my friends' marriages, and to hear the example that they're setting to very publicly encourage and lift up their spouse and talk so well about their families is such a positive example that I think we definitely need more of.
You're going to find yourself meeting a really genuine fan base that like it's going to surprise you just how many people are out there, and then like how much they want to get to know you as well. That's I found that to be really awesome, that it wasn't just like, hey, let's just talk about the podcast. It was like, hey, like, how's life going? How are you doing? So it's a plus to the podcast.
Our community is so dedicated. I think that has definitely allowed us to have opportunities for these kind of niche events that we kind of have run.
I love that Jake and Brad have done fan events, because that is how the community has become tight-knit, because you do get to meet people in person.
Because we know that there's like, hey, there's loyalty here. There's people that truly just want to get time with us and hang out with us and have fun with us because we're fun people and they're fun people. We can take these risks and have seen so much fun fruit from that. Whether it's these smaller events where we have just a handful of people, or if we have these bigger events where it's 200, 300 people that have come at a time.
It's a very unique thing you can do when you have a small podcast and you feel like you have a good pulse on your audience. We love it and very much look forward to it.
Yes.
There's really like a tightness and a bond when you spend that much time together.
You meet up, you get to meet the host of this podcast that you so much enjoy. And I really appreciated how intentional Jake and Brad were. Even though there were tons and tons of people there, it seems like they're spending time trying to get around and talk to as many people as possible. Once again, that just goes back to like how down to earth they are. There's all these people that are interested in getting to know them and meeting them, and they are just as interested in meeting us.
Not only do they care about our podcast, they care about each other.
Jake and Brad had spoken to people for like 24 hours straight, and they were still just so kind and so grateful.
They were true to themselves, and so they drew people who were looking for that authenticity.
I think we just all kind of built a stronger community through it.
We had an event called F12, which we just named it that because it was on February 12th. We thought the most lame time of year is just February.
I had an idea. February is the worst month of the year. So let's do the best event ever on the worst month of the year.
And we did like this variety show, performance kind of thing.
I think it'd be really cool if we had our own live comedy show and or live podcast or something.
Yes.
There was like 300 people that came. We sold out this space that we had.
So it's a tentative February 12th weekend.
F12 was really a unique experience for me because at the time I was living in Ukraine. I was still listening to the podcast. I had been originally in Ohio, then moved out to Ukraine to be a missionary. And Ghostrunners was a great way for me to just kind of have a sense of familiarity and comfort as I was so far away from home. This was around the time where there were rumors that it could be dangerous for me to stay in Ukraine. On one hand, it was very scary. On the other hand, I was like, oh, maybe this means I could go to F12. So as it was recommended for me to like start packing an emergency bag, the first thing I put in there was my Ghostrunners shirts, like my merch that I had purchased. And when I made the decision to temporarily leave Kyiv, where I was living, I bought my plane ticket to the US, and then I bought my plane ticket to Kansas City to go to F12. So it was just a wonderful time for me to just really connect with people. I was going through a very stressful time, but it was great to just see all these people in real life and connect with them.
F12 is really where I met a lot of my ghosty friends. I was hosting an Airbnb for, I don't know, I think there were 14 of us. We could all share and save money and room with random strangers so that we could meet some strangers.
And I actually slept in a house of 14 strangers that I had never met before. I have made some like real, genuine friendships from that.
And I felt like a crazy person to be flying to Kansas City to go to this event and meet a bunch of strangers.
I remember I showed up, they had the pickleball courts reserved, and it was just packed with people, and I didn't know like anybody at that point. I also just remember meeting Brad for the first time at that event, and he knew my name through the Facebook group, and I thought that was really meaningful.
It was just nice to see that proud that the podcast was kind of like attracted, right? Because it's not like they went and pick and chose their fans. They attracted those people. It was easier to make friends because we had a common theme, which was the Ghostrunners Podcast, you know.
The event itself, the show, they did like a variety show with songs and comedy.
10,475 podcast minutes.
I feel like this was the start of Brad and I getting back into like summer camp mode.
Alright, we have our top 8 answers are on the board. Top 8 answers, we surveyed people. Name something a squirrel might get in a fight with if it tried to take his nuts.
Land shark.
Elephants and land sharks on there. Alright.
With Cuba, it's just like this guy in a diaper. And I'm like, if I need a diaper and a guy with a diaper, I'll just go see my Uncle Marvin.
That's also where I announced Rachel to the audience, which is kind of fun. It was like, do you guys remember Topgolf Rachel? She's actually here tonight because we've been dating for 5 months or whatever it was, and Rachel's parents were there.
And he was like, I love your parents, your dad's really funny, your mom's so pretty. And then we just kept talking, and a couple minutes later, he was like, oh my gosh.
It's so interesting. You look nothing like your mom.
And after that, we had an after party at Chick-fil-A. We put 300 people in this Chick-fil-A. It was the most crowded I'd ever seen a Chick-fil-A, and it was so much fun. It was just another one of those times where I was really encouraged. Like the ghosties, that's what we call our fans. The fans wrote us and sang us a song.
Yeah.
Made me cry.
It was just one of the really, really sweet, special moments of that weekend.
I never miss a Monday morning. We meet up with some complete strangers. We're back to friends we adore. We love you, Ghosties.
Seeing that community aspect of people who are all over the country come together and feel so like connected.
It was just like, once again, one of those like affirmations of like, there's something bigger going on here, or something deeper happening here.
That was really fun. We have experience doing stuff like this from a stage where it's goofy and it's fun. Like that was actually pretty cool to do that.
Right.
And to have kind of a built-in audience, like maybe we should do this more often.
Thank you guys so much for coming out.
Then I went to Rendezvous, which was in, I believe, August of 23.
So I looked at the calendar and saw that my birthday was right around the time that Trey and I's comedy tour was coming to Kansas City, and Brad and I don't have a big enough audience to actually go on tour, and so instead we'll just bring the tour to us. And so it's like, if you want to come to Kansas City, there's going to be just a weekend full of events for you.
A huge memory from that is I had paid for VIP so I could sit on the front row because I love sitting on the front row. And I sat down on the front row and introduced myself to the person next to me, and he said his name was Samuel, and I said, oh my gosh, are you Samuelson? And he's like, yes, that's me. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to meet you.
And again, there was people who I don't think I'd ever talked to like in person or even in the Facebook group, and this knew who I was. And I thought that was very meaningful.
And then I had somebody come sit by me, and she said, you're Elizabeth Virgil, right? And I said, yeah. And she said, I'm Angela Birdwell.
I was able to meet Elizabeth Virgil. She is in like a similar place in life that I am, and with 3 kids and whatnot. So we have a lot in common.
We're like, oh my gosh, we're meeting in person.
And so I was able to become friends on just like regular Facebook as well. And so now I can see like what she's up to and how she's doing.
Saturday night is the comedy show with Jake and Trey, but Friday night we are going to do like a Comedy Central style roast of me like as my like birthday party. It was a jam-packed night.
It was a production for sure, and it was so much fun. Once again, end of the night at Chick-fil-A. Also did a live podcast the next day.
Yeah.
We were like, let's try to make this a fun production weekend of like they got to see us be entertaining, but also let's try to connect with people as much as we can because that's so much of what we care about too.
And they are just as interested in meeting us, which I don't think can be said for a lot of influencers or a lot of content producers out there.
So it was just a really sweet combination of both, but the roast was so much fun because in the roast obviously you make fun of Jake, but you also make fun of everyone else on the stage if you want to.
Panel.
And so there was some, I mean, one of the most iconic ones I think was my wife, barely even knew Timon at the time, just roasting Timon about his lack of masculinity, I think.
I know firsthand that homeschoolers are more sheltered than other kids in lots of different ways. But I would love to hear from your parents, Timon, about how they managed to shelter you from having even a shred of masculinity.
And people lost their minds about it because my sweet wife, you know, just Southern belle of a wife, just absolutely roasting this high school kid of like, you know, it was amazing. So
it had a lot of shock value.
Yeah.
I still remember it.
So getting to laugh and like belly laugh along with other ghosties and be like, I'm not just laughing in my kitchen at these guys. I'm sitting on the front row laughing with them. That was a huge, exciting moment.
And I thought that was just kind of another unique element with having that community who care enough about Jake and Brad and the community as a whole that they would actually try out other people as well who listen. Like it's kind of crazy.
And then also the Ghostrunners Branson event.
We didn't meet in Branson, but we both have such strong connections back down to Southwest Missouri. We're like, we gotta introduce people to this geriatric Las Vegas of Branson, Missouri. It's amazing.
And for that one, because now I had met these people, we all started a group meet and got a house together. So then I stayed in a house with 20 other Ghostrunners fans. And again, some of them I'd met at Rendezvous, some of them I had never met in person. And it's just like, you're sleeping in the bunk next to me, but I know that we're kindred spirits. And so that was a super fun experience to wake up and be with all the Ghostrunners fans there.
I got to meet a lot more ghosties there, actually get to meet people that I've either commented with or like seen in Instagram or Facebook. Being able to actually put like a face to the name and actually interact with them in person was beyond amazing.
That was a ton of fun, you know, just like playing pickleball all night, you know, catching up with people, getting to know new people there too.
Maybe the highlight of the Branson trip, I ended up playing cornhole with Steve Triplett and Steve Coop all night long. And me and Steve Triplett, we were on a team and we won a couple games and then we just kept winning games. And so even though like we're all there for Jake and Brad, that Friday night, I'm like, dude, I feel like me and Steve are hitting it off. I never walked into that event Friday night thinking that like, oh yeah, me and Jake's dad are gonna like, we're gonna run it in cornhole. You're meeting and you're interacting with family members of these guys, which once again, just if you describe that to like an outsider, they're like, what? You know, that's so crazy, but somehow it just makes sense and it just feels right. You know, they're just, you know, trying to make some friends and have a good time and they're just great. They're wonderful.
We went to amusement park there.
That was a great day.
Yeah.
Because it felt like the pressure was off a little bit. It's like, yes, well, you know, every few hours, come on in, we'll do a little show for you.
Me and a ghostie named Mariah Garrett were on stage doing like blind karaoke, and Brad puts on This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. And we just like played off each other and like performed this song, and it was like one of the most electric on-stage experiences I think I've ever had. It was a ton of fun.
We'll do a little show for you, but most of the day, like, go ride the rides.
Silver City's basically my backyard, so I was the impromptu tour guide for everyone who was from out of town.
Where like with other fans, they kind of like ease me into like, hey, you know, like, you don't get on the big roller coasters. Here's the easy ones, you know, like, hey, try this one out. You like this one? Let's go ahead and try this other one. So that was, I mean, personally, that was a lot of fun for me in Branson, Missouri.
Nobody got motion sickness?
Nope.
One of my favorite memories of the Silver City Amusement Park Day was at the very end of it. We record the podcast at the end of the night, and we decide we're going to have like this competition live on the podcast, and whoever lost the competition between Jake, Timon, and I would have to ride this water ride that's going to get you soaked. You know, it's September, so it's relatively cold outside.
It was the s'mores of sauces.
I think it counts as a sauce. I'm gonna say, picture you're at like IHOP, and you get pancakes and you order the blueberry sauce. That's my pick.
I thought for sure it was syrup.
Thanks for
I was like, syrup, pretty good choice. I wouldn't have thought of syrup, but it's blueberry sauce.
Hey, no one vote for Timon out of pity, all right?
And I shouldn't have lost.
And then the loser, by 1 point.
Whoa.
Jacob Triplett.
Oh! Pass it off! Oh! Yeah!
Good luck.
I lost to blueberry?
Unreal.
Jake feels slighted.
Timon said blueberry sauce. Top 4?
You kidding
How'd
me,
I
man?
lose to that?
And so there was like 10 minutes left before the park closed. We're like, we got to finish this recording so that Jake can go ride this ride. And, you know, I was like, I'm going with you, man.
That was fun.
And so all of a sudden, then we had, I think there were 8 of us or 6 of us. I can't remember.
And somehow, some way, I ended up on the last water ride of the night with them, and it was a memory that I don't think I'll ever forget.
I got to be one of the ones who rode on the Mystic River Falls at the very end, and that was super fun. Brad yelled out, "Are you coming?" And I'm like, is he saying that to me or to somebody else? Because if he's saying it to me, then yes, I'm coming. And then I was like, no, I'm coming regardless, so I'm going. So I got on there.
On this ride that takes you to the top of this super tall water ride and just plunged us down. We got soaking wet.
Yes, we did.
Just screaming, shouting. All the rest of the ghosties are watching us come down, cheering for us and everything. Truly amazing.
Mystic River Falls.
Got drenched all over again, and it was nice that all of us were together in that moment.
It was really special to be able to worship alongside of each other on Sunday morning, just because once again, that was never our intention.
That was so cool, just being able to worship alongside each other, and afterwards it brought up a different type of debrief where normally after a ghosty event we're just cracking up about all the different types of inside jokes that have developed from the weekend. And that service brought up some really deep conversations of us doing some soul searching and reflection, and more than you would expect from a podcast of 2 guys who are just cutting up about their lives.
Just everything, that whole Branson weekend, there's so much more I could talk about, but I think there was just a lot of powerful moments from that weekend. And that whole event still sticks with me even now. So, so many memories, so many friends. It's amazing.
The Main Street Roasters event. This is our first time really partnering with a sponsor to do something in person.
So Main Street Roasters is a Christian-owned coffee shop. It's in Napanee, Indiana, and they have been sponsors of the podcast for a long time.
When I saw the potential for, we have these loyal listeners, let's see if people, will sponsor us and these loyal listeners will support them.
I think very early on too, we were like, it's way harder to find new ones compared to just keeping the ones we have. And so definitely made a focus on keeping long-term sponsors.
We only want to be sponsored by people we actually are excited to advertise for.
Yeah, we have a direct relationship with everyone who's ever sponsored us.
We understand that hey, we don't have as many listeners as some of these other people, so we got to convert a higher percentage in order to keep these ads coming. And so, yeah, we try to love our sponsors, do whatever we can with our sponsors, and in turn, they've loved us back, which has been a huge blessing.
The podcast desk itself, we try to, shout out our sponsors in addition to what we say, but also just visually, but we try to keep it kind of subtle, so just like Main Street Roasters, tumblers or whatever we can think of.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, it's better to just kind of have it product placement, right, than talk about it.
And if they do happen to notice, great.
Good for them, but I mean, we're not shoving it down their throat. We're not making it the main part of, the picture, whatever.
Giddy up.
Right.
It's been such a nice support for the podcast, and so they decided to just go visit there. I think they wanted to get to some of their more Midwest
fan base.
We have a lot of Ghostrunners fans up north. When you think Branson's hard to get to, Napanee, Indiana is hard to get to. But of course they came out, I mean, we had a good handful, a good dozen or so that came from Canada. And so it was just fun, just more of the same. I'm just like, these people are so nice. They drove so far and we had a blast with it. We didn't even record a podcast. It was just like, we'll be there to hang out, get some coffee, get some pastries. And it was really, really special.
There was a huge line of ghosties waiting outside Main Street Roasters. I noticed this right away too, is when they started letting people in. I thought it was very nice of them to stand right inside the entrance of the door and greet every single person as they came in. So as we walked through the doors, they greeted every person, gave them a little itinerary of what we were going to be doing.
I was a little bit nervous to meet everybody at the Main Street Roasters event. But as soon as I got in, like, everybody was so nice and all the nerves left, and I was just blown away by how kind and welcoming and just fun every single person that was there was. It was amazing. And then Jake and Brad were just so kind, so humble, and I had the best day. I talked all day. It was genuinely one of the best days of my life.
Once again, one of those days that's like, I don't want this day to end. I want to just keep hanging out, keep talking to people. You know, Main Street Roasters, the actual shop closed at whatever time, 9 o'clock, but then we were outside talking to people for another 2 hours or something. I mean, it just, one of those times where it's just like, we are so blessed by wonderful fans who we want to be around and talk to. And since then, I feel like we've become friends with some of those people on a deeper level.
One thing that really stood out to me is when I got there, this coffee shop was pretty big, a ton of people there, and Jake and Brad separately had seen me from like across the room and greeted me by name. And I was like, this is incredible. There are like 100 people here or more. And just the fact that they took the time, that they recognized me, that they said something, I'm like, you guys are the best. Like, this is so much more than a podcast.
We know Janelle. She's our Ukrainian ghostie. She used to work in Bolivar. Like, we know her from the podcast. And I guess we both individually were like, Janelle, what's up? And then kind of kept walking or whatever. And very tiny moment in the day. And then she stuck around afterwards to tell us she's like, this is what's so cool about the podcast. Like, when you guys said hi to me, I felt known. And that's what makes these things so special, is like you give these people the ability of feeling known. Like when you greet everyone at the door.
They do this all the time. They do this so naturally. I went back and listened to that same podcast again where they were recapping the event, and I wrote down every person they mentioned. There was over 50 people on the list. So I had like written them out and then shared it on the Facebook group afterwards, just as like an incredible representation of how they know so many people. It's not just me. I'm not just some exception. Like, it's a very natural part of the podcast where they love to get to know people, and other people like to get to know other people as well.
Just this proof of like, man, there's something cool happening here. People care about this thing, but not only do they care about our podcast, they care about each other. Like, I think they form friendship.
Yeah, it's not just like, well, I gotta see Jake and Brad. I think it's like, well, I've been hearing how fun these events are. I've been seeing all these friendships form. I want a piece of that. I want to go and see who I become friends with.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about Branson is I remember, I think it was Gabe and Maddie Oliver were like, I forgot that Jake and Brad are even going to be there. I'm just excited to see Sarah and Daniel, or whatever it was. We were the initial reason that people came together, but now they're coming together as true friendships of their own.
It's like our kids grew up and married each other.
That's right.
It's beautiful. Our first vacation with our fans was extremely memorable and extremely successful as far as doing something like this that we've never done before. We've never seen anyone else do it before. Found a hot house outside of Seaside, Florida. How many people came? 27 people came, something like that?
Yeah, it was like, the house fit 27. I think we got 27 in there.
That was even a little more outside of my comfort zone because, I'd already stayed with strangers at F12 and, expected that to go okay, but like that was people that I personally vetted. Meanwhile, the Ghosty Getaway, it was just people who decided they wanted to pay Jake and Brad some money to vacation with them.
They announced it and I was like, I'm doing this. I am gonna go. I bought my plane ticket. 1000% my parents thought I was like gonna get murdered.
So I was honestly expecting at least one or two like creepy people who have just waited for this opportunity to get alone time with Jake and Brad.
But I had not had that much fun in like ever.
We just basically hung out and played games and were loud for 4 days straight.
Loud, yeah. We were right on the beach. Very close to the beach.
2-minute walk from the beach.
This was when Brad and I really tapped into like our previous summer camp experience, and not only like trying to make memories, like under promise, over deliver. There were some things they knew they were getting. We wanted to like even surpass that, surprise them with more things. Man, it was fun. It was made great. A lot of memories.
Once again, another time where people like had this like emotional experience of like this community. The community is such a strong thing that people are, I think so many people are struggling with these days, and to see people like crying as they're leaving because they're going to miss these people, you know, as they go back to their home. I mean, it was awesome to watch people cry. No, I'm just kidding.
Leaving the Ghosty Getaway, there was not a dry eye in that room. We were all just so emotionally connected to each other already.
To the point where we're like, all right, next year we're going to do it again, but we're going to do it twice. We're going to do 2 sets of this in a row. And so the next year we went to Alabama, to Gulf Shores, and found an even bigger house and had even more people come, and it was right on the beach, literally.
On the beach.
It was a blast. It's so much fun because these people that are coming know that it's going to be a fun time, so they're fun people. They're ready to play all the games and do all the stuff, and you can't say enough good things about it.
Gulf Shores was probably the best week of my life. It's hard to even explain what an amazing time I had.
That was the first time, you know, like I've actually like, you know, not just like met Jake and Brad, like just in briefly, just here and there, just chatting, but like we spent a weekend together. Them and like 30 of us. You know, I did like the first session of Gulf Shores. I really got to know several people, several other fans of the show, with whom I've like kept up with throughout last year, this year.
One of my favorite parts of the getaway is the fact that we've got our own economy there. We were doing all kinds of things to earn Monopoly money to spend in the prize room at the end of the week. So shenanigans went down from night one. I mean, Caleb Sullivan ate a dragonfly for like $20 or something.
Give me a cup of water ready, okay? God help me.
Got it. No. Oh.
We need visual of movement.
Oh my gosh.
12, 13, 14, 15.
Oh no!
Not worth it at all.
It's really special. It's really fun. Especially like people who came in for the Florida trip are now back for the Gulf Shores trip. It's like, we get to vacation together again. We're starting a tradition now.
One of the hardest moments I've ever laughed, probably in my adult life, was the last night of one of the sessions. It might have been session 2 because we were all so sleep deprived. I think they talked about it in the podcast.
So basically what it does is you put on headphones that are noise canceling, ideally. They're turned up really loud so you can't hear your own voice, and you talk into the phone's the microphone, and it will then transmit it back to your headphones, but at like a half-second delay or something like that. Just a little bit of a delay. Certain people, not everybody, but certain people just cannot coherently talk anymore. Gabriel Oliver, it was unbelievable at what came out of this guy's mouth.
And also what came out of our mouths. I haven't laughed this hard in years. I've maybe never laughed this hard in my life.
I told Catherine, I was like, I laughed in a way I've never heard myself laugh before.
Come on, let's leave. Before we leave. I went
There was one time I almost threw up from laughing. I was bent over and then laughing so hard.
Where are the turtles?
Doubled over laughing, like ribs hurt, tears streaming down the face. And it really wasn't that funny, but for some reason we were all just having a really good kick at it.
Oh, the kids. Are they still in the corn?
Oh my God. So I loved that last night.
There's of course new people. You're like, oh my gosh, I've seen your name for years. It's so good to meet you. You're so funny. You're so fun in person. And just, I mean, it really, like, we are friends with these people by the end of the trip. Like, we have slept under the same roof as them, and like, there's really like a tightness and a bond when you spend that much time together.
It sounds kind of crazy and dramatic to say, but Gulf Shores genuinely did change my life. I connected with people that I just wouldn't have ever expected to connect to, and it's amazing.
I've been blown away by how supportive the Ghosty community is of, like, first of all, the podcast and Jake and Brad and me, but also each other. We have a Facebook group where people will just post about any old random thing, and just there's people coming around them left and right, which has been super fun to see.
I don't think you could just listen to them and not want to be a part of the Facebook group, because a lot happens in there, and like I said, they're very interactive. Getting to know them on the podcast makes you want to also get to know the people who support them.
I joined the Ghostrunners Podcast group just to see what the community was like.
The only reason why I go into Facebook is for the Facebook group, the main Facebook group.
When did we first start the Facebook group? How long has it been around?
I think it started with our event on F12.
Oh,
it was like initially an F12 Facebook group, like for people to coordinate there, and all of a sudden it just took off, and it is just so fun.
Especially when you're listening to an episode and then you just hear something ridiculous, and and you're like, I need to see if anybody else caught this, and you just go immediately to the Facebook group and you just try to see if anybody else caught something.
I mean, it might be one of the best things we've done for the podcast.
The cool part about this community is that a lot of the people who are fans of the podcast are also very funny people. And so it's always interesting to get on Facebook and see what other people are thinking about the episode, or what funny comments or witty remarks that they have too.
It's been awesome just seeing the organic just content that gets posted from our audience. We're not having to provoke it. We're not saying like, all right, this week's Facebook contest, share your favorite. It's like, it just happens. I can't wait to check it every day. It's the only reason I even have Facebook.
It's gone from like just reacting to our episodes to all of a sudden just like people will post other things that they think like, oh, Ghostrunners listeners might also have adjacent interest to me.
I connected with other fans through the Facebook group mostly. Obviously being in New Zealand, sometimes there's little nuances that I don't understand with their jokes, like what on earth a tailgate was. I had no idea. So like posting that on the group chat, just getting little insights like that is quite good.
Social media can just be such a negative place, and it feels like this Facebook group is, almost completely positive, almost completely, just encouraging of each other.
We have this little oasis. We have to protect it.
Right.
As long as the Chiefs don't win too many games, then it's perfect. It's in perfect harmony.
It feels like they have this common bond of the Ghostrunners, even if it's like this silly connection, it then can make it, possible to do everything else. It's just been a really encouraging thing to see people's acceptance, acceptance, I guess, of each other with that.
And even like people needing prayer, even people like, oh, I have a small business. Like, people don't shy away from just supporting other listeners.
And I love that that's the type of community we are, that people can have very honest and vulnerable prayer requests in that group, and also share praise reports in that group. So that's very cool.
I noticed that they were focused on prayer, and would just love to be a part of a community that was praying hard for different things that people are going through. So I took that seriously.
Things like, hey, can somebody pray for my my brother or my wife or my friend, and so those are kind of neat ways. I wish I could go to some of the ghosty getaways. It sounds like those are some of the greatest things, but I've never been to one of those. But mainly just the Facebook group just feels like a sense of community, and being able to bounce ideas off of people, or just share funny things in the podcast.
The podcast and Jake and Brad have made a really great impact on a lot of people's lives, so I really hope it keeps growing. I think it'd be fun to just like have a big viral moment and like people join, but I also kind of like how organic it is, so I hope it keeps growing in that way.
Is what we have going to wear off? If we're not going viral, or if we're not reaching new people on a consistent basis, what's the lifespan of two guys talking about nothing? I don't know.
Whether it's huge or like small, we can have a tight-knit, like, loyal group of people. I mean, even if it's 1,000 people who are all in, that's amazing. Or if we have 1 million listeners, but only 1,000 are all in, I don't think it would feel huge to me. You know, I don't know what it looks like in the future, but I just hope it continues. That's my main thing.
The podcast has just changed my life in more ways than I could have ever imagined.
You're always going to have a funny story, but they're always going to have a positive twist on it. And if you just need something uplifting in your life and funny to listen to if you're having a bit of a tough week, that they're the ones that, will consistently put a smile on your face.
I'm super grateful for them continuing to do this and being a part of so many people's lives in that way.
We need more positivity in the world. We all have hard things in life, so I like to have it as my very healthy escape to listen to and laugh and just remind me that there's good in the world.
Joining the podcast is not just listening to it, it's like joining a whole community. So if you do start listening to it, I think you're going to gain a lot more friendships than you think you would out of a podcast.
Being able to see the humor just in the day-to-day, taking something that could be discouraging in one sense and saying, okay, but you can look at the bright side. So that's one way that they're encouraging just different mindsets and perspectives.
It's clearly not scripted. It's just two guys talking about their everyday life. So it's like very approachable. And I feel like you don't need to get in like a certain mindset. Some podcasts you need to like be in the right mood for something. And this is just like so approachable that it's really easy to just jump in.
The way that they carry themselves and they interact with people and how they talk about others, that's genuine, you know? So that's attractive to people, I think.
It's just genuine quality interactions. And if my life looks like that in any way someday, I would be thrilled.
Like I said, it's not that star and fan relationship anymore. It's a friendship.
There's a lot of like really good people in this group. And you know that you're just interacting with a lot of like uplifting and encouraging people.
You know, it's a podcast that cares about their community and that it is fun to listen to, interesting with lots of fun segments, just a good, wholesome podcast that makes you that's fun to listen to and gets you excited about life.
This started as fun and it has developed into something so much more, but they never forget like what it started as. It's just fun and they're just two normal guys.
I think this podcast and this community is such a testimony of the Lord's sovereignty and goodness. He took something that was just silly and lighthearted and turned it into the most supportive and beautiful community of people from all over the country, all over the world even. And we can just come together with this one thing in common, that is Ghostrunners. And I just can't explain how grateful I am for the friendships and the way that it has changed my life.
But a big like prayer of mine, you know, over like years and years has been like, I don't want to feel like the talents I've been given or the gifts I've been given go to waste. You know, and sometimes it's like, is talking to my best friend in a basement the best I can do? Is there more that I could be doing? You know, I used to work in youth ministry, like is there more I could be doing? But then stuff like this is like, oh my gosh, like it's an accident, but we're doing something. I don't know how we, it's not us. And so this is just such a good affirmation of whatever it is Brad and I are doing. And so thank you guys for being a part of it. Thank you guys.
Brad always is like very into keeping our spirits up. So he has kind of this, like he calls it our rally cry that he has me and Jake like chant before every episode. It started out like when I first joined, I was like, this is a little weird, but now it's like, I can't start without it. So just set up the cameras and get through the rally cry and then we're good to go.
Brad, Tyler mentioned the rally cry that you lead everyone in before recording every episode. So
You wanted me to do a rally? Yeah, we're gonna. Normally it's like, hey, it's time to do a rally cry, and you see 2 tears, one out of each eye, and he goes, okay. And I smack Jake one side of the face.
I hate the rally cry.
Smack Jake on the other side of the face, and then Timon does like, he calls it the sandwich, where he takes 2 hands right on the top and bottom of Jake. Sorry for the clap. And then we just go, whoop, 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 whoop. Timon's trying to make me put me on the spot. Timon, bring it on.
I thought it'd be fun if you guys did the rally cry
On the podcast.
Together, yeah,
Great,
on the
yeah.
podcast. So,
All right. Oh. It's the pod.
It's the pod.
It's the pod.
It's the pod.
We are happy.
We are happy.
We will spread joy.
We spread joy
to the people.
to the people
who listen.
who listen.
rally.
Rally.
Cry.
Cry.
Wah.
Do that. Have some dignity for yourself.
Start with a slate for this one, then Jake do a slate for that one, and then Brad do a slate for that one.
Totally.
This Ghostrunners.
Cameras.
Rolling. Sound.
Rolling.
Yes. Sound speed.
Speeding.
Such an amateur, Jake.
The pros say speeding.